Kazakhstan has the potential to become the exemplar state in terms of balancing its energy supply, said Evgan Nifty, the CEO of the Caspian Policy Center in Washington, in an interview for New Time. He stressed that Kazakhstan is now navigating the balance between its role as a hydrocarbon producer and the global shift toward renewable energy. Mr. Nifty advocates for an approach to energy transition where Kazakhstan continues to supply traditional energy resources using cleaner methods and technologies, invests in renewables. More details you can find in the following interview. So, Mr. Nifty, thank you very much that you agreed to do this interview. It's a pleasure to talk to you. So, let me start with a common question. You're director of the Caspian Policy Center. So, from your point of view, what major events happened in the Caspian region and over the past year? And how might they impact our region?
I will highlight a few developments that are very important. I will first say that rising tensions globally among the big powers, we observe it, and that's important, and it's having implications for Central Asia, because Central Asia is neighboring a major powers, including China, Russia, and in the south, India. And in that perspective, I see that it's affecting Central Asia, but it's also this difficult situation creating opportunities for Central Asia. I would like to obviously highlight one major development which is very important, and actually I'm happy to see Kazakhstan taking lead in that perspective, which is the inter-regional relations, which is developing the connectivity and cooperation among Central Asians. I want to refer President Tokayev's one word which is very important, I think, in that regard. He's mentioned that successful Central Asia is successful Kazakhstan. In that regard, this new dynamics in the global politics that is creating new opportunities for our region, because I say in that regard, because I see this region as a very important region for myself as well, where I see important avenues of development emerging for this region in terms of energy, in terms of supply chains, in terms of the middle corridor that we have been discussing. And also I would like to highlight the importance of the critical minerals for the energy transition globally. So I would say that the issues that we have not been talking about this region is now becoming more important in that regard. We wouldn't speak much about cooperation in this region maybe 5-6 years ago. We couldn't imagine certain things that happened in this region that we are now talking right now at this stage. The region's importance for Europe, for US, for neighboring countries is increasing, and in that regard I think what is important, how this region is capitalizing on that opportunity, where they work together to maximize their benefits in that regard, but also taking an important role in shaping global issues. I'm sure Kazakhstan is looking into expanding its opportunity to develop the transit and trade capacity of the region, and Kazakhstan have played an important role in the northern corridor trade, but it's also looking into Caspian and trying to develop connectivity through the Caucasus to Europe, Mediterranean, and accessing the other markets globally. I want to refer to Kazakhstan's foreign policy in terms of multi-vector foreign policy, but in that regard, but also Kazakhstan should be looking into multi-vector access to the global markets in terms of its energy access, but also dealing with landlocked situation where it needs access to global markets. At the same time, looking into the options of inter-regional connectivity is important, and I think in that regard I've seen European Union, for example, allocating about $10 billion to invest in Central Asian inter-regional connectivity, which obviously will translate into strengthening the regional connectivity across the Caspian as well.
We know that all the countries, all the states of Caspian region have different political, economical systems. So my question is, how can Kazakhstan help create cooperation models that works for all Caspian states? How do you think?
I think I would say that important developments have been happening between Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan in that regard, developing the Caspian Bridge and also trying to increase the connectivity with the Trans-Caspian. But also Kazakhstan's role in terms of mediation of the problems in the region is important. Kazakhstan previously hosted peace talks for Syria. We remember that Astana process, but also Kazakhstan played an important role in hosting Azerbaijani Armenian foreign ministers in Almaty a few months ago. In that regard, Kazakhstan has a model to present, and that can be utilized for problems that are facing in the region that can become important tool to overcome, again, even resolving some of the bottlenecks and opportunities to reach global markets.
And if you don't mind, one last question. As we know, Caspian region moves towards greener future, greener energy. So my question is, what should Kazakhstan do to follow this global sustainability agenda, but at the same time staying as a major energy exporter?
So Kazakhstan is, we all know, is a major hydrocarbon producer. And we are facing dilemma globally, actually, where in one sense we want to build a new world, but also that new world cannot survive without the old world that we have, which is the traditional energy resources. In that regard, we need to have a balanced approach. And globally, we see that this energy security is seen as a more part of the national security of the countries. But I think Kazakhstan has immense potential to present in terms of balanced approach to the energy transition. I will give you an example. For example, in Africa, we have about 600 million people still doesn't have proper access to electricity. And whereas they're looking to produce enough energy for their population. And in different parts of the world, we are facing different challenges of the common problem that we are facing. So in that regard, I think Kazakhstan has a potential to become an exemplary state in terms of balancing its energy supply, which is well diversified. And at the same time, it is investing in the renewables. And at the same time, it's investing in the new technologies. But at the same time, even producing the traditional source of energy with the new methods, new technologies, while making sure that it is compliant with international standards, but also continue providing its own international energy security.